focusing on the problem of movement again, right? So first focusing on energy. When you displace your center of mass vertically, that means your potential energy changed. Now, for every vertical component that you go up, that means potential energy is being stored in you, like just by having mass, right? And for everything you go down, you lose that potential energy, usually into kinetic energy due to acceleration from the gravitational pull of the Earth. Whenever you let's talk about like a standard sprint, right? Whenever you come down to Earth, like you have no contact with the ground. So whenever you come down, that vertical displacement is potential energy. And the way you set up your leverage, you can let this potential energy propel you kinetically, right? If a tree gets cut, right, and it's roughly halfway there, it's gonna like kind of come down. And that's why you put wedges in there. Otherwise, your saw gets stuck, right? If you stand, you pick up one leg, you fall in the direction of basic stuff, right? Now, that is a trade-off between energies. Energies are great to look at when it comes to movement because forces peak in moments and forces are velocity dependent. So you can have a high velocity or low velocity and have the same force, but energy is energy. It doesn't matter how fast or slow, that's calculated in there. So now you have then, whenever you, let's say, come down to Earth and you set up your levers, initially, as soon as your levers connect, there's an eccentric component of muscular contraction across the system of levers that you set down. As soon as, from the moment of contact to the moment of the lowest point, that is the vertical component of energy. And when I say absorption, I don't mean it's all in the muscles. I mean, the potential energy has now transferred into either kinetic energy or spring potential energy. And spring potential energy is the complicated part where we get to now. You have the sequence of levers, and all the levers are being held by both passive and semi-passive and active tissues. Now, the passive tissues would be like ligaments and tendons. Tendons, it's not as passive as you think, right? There's plenty like receptor sites for hypertrophy of the tendon, but that doesn't happen too much later. So going to the energy component, let's take a little snapshot of where you, let's say, touch down. Now, let's say you touch down, and we're talking about the quadriceps. So you have your support phase, the quadricep muscle, or muscles, the group of muscles. Now, the amount of vertical displacement that you had falling in the first place, that it's the amount of energy that have a vertical component. So if you take a vector and you take the vertical component of that vector by, plotting the vector across X, Y, and Z axis, that allows for loading.